There's no,
I have written statements from two of them. Is there anything I have to do with these?
this looks probably exciting.
You're good to go. You're welcome. Pam?
Yeah.
You could stand up and read them for them.
Yeah.
Or have them follow along with.
Stu, it's gonna be live via YouTube, right, as well?
Yes, it'll be a lot of them.
Okay, let them know. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's how long they are. Like,
Oh, they're not long.
Guys, we're gonna be at about 8 minutes, is that good? We're just waiting for 2 other people that are just on their way.
Can you do a mic?
Let me make sure this, this live stream is set up.
Can you do a mic check for us? I did it earlier.
Excellent.
Hello, this is a mic check. It is a mic check. This is conversational tone. Great.
Hi, this is a mic check, mic check. Hello, hello, check, check, check. This is a mic check. Hope everyone's having a good day as I speak in this conversational tone to you all. Check, check, hello. Check, hello. Mic check, how are we feeling about it? Check, check. It's very low. The stream is very low? Gotcha. Check, check.
Are you sure? Okay. I can definitely check on Stu where it is, but are you good?
for,
We are still waiting for the two. Great, hold on.
okay.
And Keith Haley is here.
Keith Hill is here,
All right, if you have a ticket to validate, bring it my way. Oh, beautiful, even better. Thank you, Morgan.
Hey, Sean.
I actually
Julio and Ralph are,
How far out are they?
They estimated 20 minutes.
Yeah,
11, 15.
they said just a few minutes away, they said 5 minutes away. And I was just thinking,
It's either that or it was rather slow. Gambling and something. They're probably on the elevator.
oh, although it's like,
it's
very popular.
Yeah, when someone got
What are you asking me to write?
that's
How can your print be that small?
their anger. You can read somebody disrespects
351 in a month and a half. That's, I was in law school.
Horses, then you won't be working at your age.
No. Mic check? 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 Will you, gentlemen,
Come on in, we're gonna be right through that room.
You need to be more confident clients before we start this.
I
already did it.
Okay.
2 minutes.
Whatever's your best side, or my best side. This thing is awfully close.
Make sure, the ones that didn't want to be on camera, leave them.
Yeah. Yeah, just for your guys' purpose, there's a couple of survivors that are going to be here but not on camera. They can decide whether or not they want to answer questions afterwards without their face being on camera or their name listed.
Do you guys have anybody from a law firm or a victim that speaks Spanish?
Yes. I'm an attorney.
Okay, podemos hablar contigo after.
Sí, eso está bien.
I mean,
And also, can you speak right into the mic because the audio is kind of.
okay, got it. I'll do my best. And,
Leo, they want to speak last. Leo and,
okay, then I'll have to change up my, make sure we get it in order. Okay. All of you are comfortable being on camera?
Yeah.
Everybody? 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 Okay. All right, perfect. And
Sir, can you stand behind him? Since you're a little bit tall. And whoever goes up to the podium, name with spelling.
yes, absolutely. All right. We all ready to begin? Okay. My name is Morgan Stewart. I'm a partner here at Manley, Stewart Finaldi. Spelling is Morganstewart. Thank you for being here this morning. On behalf of myself and my colleagues, Alex Harrison standing to my left, Christina Nolan standing to my right, I'm going to read a brief statement, and at the end of all of our collective statements, we will take questions. This morning, our firm is announcing the filing of 73 plaintiff lawsuit against Dr. William Thompson IV and Hoag Memorial Hospital. Today, we also have several of the brave survivors of abuse that have come forward in this lawsuit with us. Several of them have offered to make statements, and we have some written statements as well from survivors who were not able to attend to this morning. Sexual abuse by doctors is a nationwide problem. Our firm has continually litigated high-profile cases against doctors who have abused patients, including from USC, University of Michigan, Columbia, and UCLA. The doctor-patient relationship is among the most vulnerable of relationships, and when it is betrayed, it is devastating to those that have placed their trust in physicians. Over the span of a decade, Dr. Thompson is alleged to have utilized his position as a medical doctor to sexually abuse men that sought treatment from him. He used the authority granted to him by Hoag Hospital to create that trust and an air of authority. Under the alleged guise of medical treatments, Dr. Thompson is alleged to have performed unnecessary and inappropriate medical procedures for his own sexual gratification. He is alleged to have tied medical treatments to sexual abuse. He is alleged to have pressured patients for sex during medical procedures. The stories of those abused, some of which you will hear today, reveal hundreds of instances of abuse over a 10-year period by Dr. Thompson. We believe here there were ample warnings and red flags that would have revealed those in authority an obligation to report Dr. Thompson. Yet those reports never came. Instead, these instances were ignored to avoid blame and responsibility by those in authority. As a result, Dr. Thompson remained in his position of authority. In our initial filing, we had 73 victims of Dr. Thompson. Shortly, we will be filing another lawsuit that increases our total number of survivors to over 90. We believe the number of those alleged to have been abused by Dr. Thompson is in the multitudes of hundreds. We strongly urge witnesses and those abused to come forward and report Dr. Thompson for the crimes that are set forth in our complaint. Dr. Thompson has been charged by the Orange County District Attorney's Office with 20 felony offenses, including fraudulent presentation for a professional purpose, sexual battery by fraud, forcible oral copulation, and sexual battery. We believe that Dr. Thompson ultimately will be charged with many more counts than the current counts he is charged with. It is my pleasure to have the opportunity to introduce several survivors to talk about the impact that Dr. Thompson had on their lives. First, we're going to hear from Alex Harrison, who's going to read a couple of written statements from survivors that were not able to be heard. And then we'll have a statement from Christina Nolan in Spanish. And then we'll I'll introduce the survivors and allow them to talk. Let me step aside.
This is the written statement by Johnny Chung, John Doe 9. My name is Johnny, and I've been a patient of Dr. Thompson for the past couple of years. My experience with Dr. Thompson initially was professional and courteous, like any other normal doctor visits. But once a rapport and trust has been built within the first 3 months, he began to act inappropriately with each visit. Things escalated to a point where when I questioned why he was doing certain exams, he tried to assure me that he needed to do them to be thorough. But I left each appointment feeling more violated and taken advantage of. No matter what I tried to say and push back on the exams, they became more and more invasive. It made me feel violated sexually and stupid for trusting that he needed to do this for medical reasons, even though deep down I knew he was wrong. The last appointment, I left with a panic attack because of how uncomfortable he made me feel. I didn't know who to turn to after, and the whole experience with him has made me feel anxiety going to the doctor's sense. I still have yet to find a new doctor to continue treatment because of what I experienced, and I hope anyone who felt or experienced the same thing with Dr. Thompson to know they are not alone and it's not their fault. We all trusted his medical opinion, only to have him take advantage of the trust and violate us. This is a written statement by Robert Markham, John Doe 31. Dr. Thompson should not be practicing medicine. The things that happened are not right, but they do affect all the young men that he molested, and they were the majority of his clientele. Dr. Thompson did not use his authority as a doctor, and I believe Hoag Hospital should be responsible for not stopping Dr. Thompson when I believe they knew this was happening. If anybody else was affected, please come forward. There's power in numbers, and we have to stop Dr. Thompson from ever doing this again to anyone.
All right, hi everyone. My name is Christina Nolan. I'll be reading a statement in Spanish. Hola, yo me llamo Christina Nolan y yo soy una abogada de Manly, Stewart y Finaldi. El abuso sexual por parte de los médicos es un problema a nivel nacional. Durante los últimos 5 años, hemos litigado casos donde médicos abusaron de miles de pacientes en nuestros equipos olímpicos, en USC, en UCLA, Michigan State, la Universidad de Michigan, la Universidad de Columbia y en los hospitales de Oregon hasta Nueva York. Los médicos están entre los profesionales más venerados y de confianza en nuestra sociedad. Cuando se rompe esa confianza, se puede dañar la vida, como atestiguan hoy estos valientes hombres. En este caso, el doctor William Thompson de Newport Beach fue un médico especializado en el tratamiento de hombres con enfermedades infecciosas y está acusado de usar su práctica médica para abusar sexualmente, agredir, maltratar y acosar a pacientes vulnerables. Nosotros representamos 73 víctimas que fueron abusados sexualmente por el doctor William Thompson, pero pronto presentaremos otra demanda que aumentará nuestro total a más de 90 demandantes. En el lapso de una década, se aleja que el Dr. Thompson utilizó su posición como médico para abusar sexualmente de hombres que buscaban tratamiento de él. Utilizó su autoridad que le otorgó el hospital de Hoag para crear esa confianza y un aire de autoridad. Bajo el pretexto de tratamientos médicos, se aleja que el Dr. Thompson ha realizado procedimientos médicos innecesarios y inapropiados para su propia gratificación sexual. Se afirma que hay vinculado el tratamiento médico al abuso sexual. Se afirma que ha presionado a los pacientes para que mantuvieran relaciones sexuales durante los procedimientos médicos. Las historias de los abusados revelan cientos de casos de abuso durante el periodo de más de 10 años por el Dr. Thompson. Hubo muchas señales de advertencia que este caso que apuntaban a que este médico era un peligro para los pacientes y había muchas oportunidades para los administradores de los hospitales y otros profesionales de salud para informar y decir algo a las autoridades, pero no lo hicieron. El doctor Thompson ha sido acusado por el fiscal del condado de Orange de 20 delitos sexuales graves. Y también está pidiendo que si hay más víctimas, que se presenten. Sé que ha sido muy difícil para estas víctimas presentarse. El doctor Thompson apuntó especialmente a estos hombres. Confiaron al doctor Thompson su cuidado y bienestar, mientras que él utilizaba procedimientos médicos inapropiados para su propia gratificación. Pero es muy importante dar su voz a este tema y decir algo para que las cosas cambien. Muchas gracias.
Thank you both. Okay, so we are going to have some of our survivors talk. I'm going to introduce them by first name. They're welcome to use their last name if they so choose. First, we're going to have Michael talk, who is John Doe 19 in the complaint.
Hi, my name is Michael Glockner, and I started going to Dr. Thompson in 2012. I was in a wheelchair back then with many complications. I got out of the wheelchair in 2015, and I noticed his tone had changed. He got personal and very verbal in what he would say to me. The exams, in my opinion, were over the top. Aggressive prostate exams, and absolutely too many. And when I would look back, he never wore gloves either. Dr. Thompson, after giving the prostate exams, would always want me to look at his private area to show me how aroused he was. And I can't say other things I would like to say, but when he would read the lab test to me, he would pull the computer over to me and sit side by side next to me, always rubbing my leg with his hand as he was reading the results. This happened every time he read the results to me. This whole process of how many years I went to him, it was betrayed. I felt that all doctors, I knew doctors didn't do this, I knew it was wrong, but I thought that I was the only one he was doing it to. I really sincerely did. And I have lost trust in doctors because of this incident. It wasn't until I recommended my husband, Johnny Chung, that read the statement, that I realized what he was doing was wrong, totally wrong. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. All right, we are going to have Kenton next.
My name is Kenton Nguyen. Sure. My name is Kenton Nguyen. I came to Dr. Thompson's last June and for a adult health condition. I went there. I was not told the procedure that he was going to do to me. He did the prostate exam without my knowledge. Then he insisted that I need to come back the next time to do the second exam because I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't think twice about it. That was part of the procedure. I trusted him to help me with my condition. And obviously that he did more than what he should have done. I believe that what he did was totally inappropriate, and it affected my life a lot. Until this point, I haven't found another doctor I can go to find help for myself, but I will, because I'm going to speak up. I hope that from this media conference, a lot more people will come out and talk and voice our voice. Put Dr. Thompson to the place where he should be. He should be held responsible for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kenton. And by the way, Kenton is John Doe 24 in the complaint. Next, we're going to have Matthew speak. And Matthew is John Doe 29.
Hello, my name is Matt Lervold. That's spelled Lervold. And what I would like to say is that people like Dr. Thompson do what they do because they think they can get away with it. They think that they can hide behind their status and reputation. They think that they can protect themselves with a mask of good deeds, good intentions, favors, and plausible deniability. Well, we need to send a message today, not just to Dr. Thompson, but to everyone out there still in our community like him, that you can do what you do, but you will not get away with it forever. Victims don't go away. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those words, Matthew. Next, we're going to have Julio speak. And Julio is John Doe 22.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. I first saw Dr. Thompson in 2022 when I was referred by my primary care doctor to him for preventative care. Dr. Thompson was inappropriate with me, and he made me feel stupid. He made me feel violated. He used my partner, Ralph, to violate me as well. He tricked my partner into thinking that this prostate exam was medically necessary, and it never was. At the time, I was 25 years old, and the last time I checked, 25-year-olds do not need a prostate exam. And he utilized my partner by telling him that it was necessary, and he made him reassure me that I had to go ahead and just do it. And even though I said no multiple times, and ever since then, I've lost trust in doctors. I've just lost a lot of trust in a lot of different people, and he's impacted my life. He's made me feel anxious. I've been depressed. I've actually lost a lot of weight over the last several months because of him, because of all the nightmares, because of all the trauma that I've experienced because of this. Dr. Thompson needs to be in jail, and Hoag Hospital had the opportunity to stop him a long time ago, and they should be held responsible too. Because if they would have done something sooner, I would have never been violated by him. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julio. Now Julio's partner, Ralph, is going to speak, and he is John Doe 26.
Hello, good afternoon. So I'm a witness to my best friend's rape. My best friend is probably going to be placed on the autism spectrum quite soon. That doesn't matter to me. He was going to be my best friend until I die. He trusts me, and he asked me to be with him for all of his big decisions and when he's scared. So he asked me to go to this appointment with him because he was scared already. He did not know he was going to get an exam. He was not prepared. And the doctor fought with us, basically. It was like a litigation for 5 minutes about, why he has to do it. And we said no. Then he had to use me, so he said, let me use Ralph to manipulate my autistic best friend to take his pants down and be touched and everything that he did to him. But not only once, it was repeatedly. He weaponized his prescriptions by not refilling them when he wouldn't come in and see him. He offered him a job about $5,000, $6,000 a month the first day he met Julio. Every time I turn my back, his hands are on him. He's scared to death. He still doesn't have a doctor. This man has to pay for what he's done. He will pay. He is a rapist, and he belongs in jail. And I've lost a lot of my best friend because of him. Who he was is no longer who he is. He doesn't trust me. He's a little disrespectful to me because he blames me. And that's my problem, and that's why he's going to pay.
Thank you, Ralph. So that is the end of our survivor statements. We'll take questions, and if you want to direct them to anyone up here, perfectly fine. Just let me know.
What years was he operating at Hope Hospital from, you said a decade, can you go through the years? And then when was he arrested and when was he kicked out of Hope?
I'm going to partially answer that, and then Alex is going to fill in the blank that I mess up. So 2011 is our earliest survivor, all the way up through earlier this year, right?
At least through the end of
End of 2023, yeah. Date he was arrested?
He was arrested in the tail end of 2023.
So arrested in the tail end of 2023. I don't remember I don't have the exact date in front of me.
For the, you're talking about the span of time that you found victims. Does that cover the entire time that he was at Hogue, or was he there before all of it? How long has he been at Hogue? Some of these occurred?
Yeah, I don't know how long in total he's been at Hogue. We know the period of survivors. I think he predates the earliest instance. I think there will be other victims that come forward that predate 2011 as well.
When you spoke about potentially hundreds more victims, you're saying that could be before 2011 or within the period?
I think it will be both. Like I said, I don't doubt that he has well over 500 victims, based on he was prolific. He didn't stop at. If you look at the stories that are coming forward, it didn't matter who it was. He didn't stop.
And then, if I could, you spoke about red flags. Can you detail some of what those red flags are?
Yeah, so there were instances of where we know he was abusing individuals in places like the emergency room with other individuals around. We know that there were doctors that witnessed and reported him. We know that there were prior instances of criminal investigations of him, and we're still finding out the details, exact details, but we know there were enough red flags, enough behavior, enough instances behind closed doors, enough instances where he wasn't wearing gloves, he wasn't putting another individual in the room with him while these exams were occurring. That's part of physician protocol. You're going to have a patient disrobed, you're going to have a second person in the room. He never had a second person in the room.
Can you clarify in what setting this abuse took place? Was this a private doctor's office or was this within hospital grounds?
Both. So he had his own off-site, off-Hogue. It also occurred in his home. He would have patients come to his home and say he had a home office. It was more convenient to come to his home. So it occurred in Hogue Hospital. It occurred at his doctor's office, which was fairly close and right across the street from Hogue. And then he would actually say to patients, come to my house and I'll treat you there. There are quite a number of instances where that occurred.
And so for something that has been a long period of decades of abuse, how did this finally come to the point of this person being held accountable? What finally tipped this?
We understand that a doctor finally reported him, and a fellow physician saw, and I don't know what the exact details are, but a fellow physician reported him to the medical board for sexual abuse of a patient. And that's what ultimately led to his investigation and arrest.
What was the outcome of that complaint to the medical board?
I think it's ongoing. From what I can tell with respect to the medical board, it is ongoing as the criminal proceedings progress as well.
And Dr. Thompson's still a licensed physician?
Is his license suspended? I think it's suspended at the moment. Yeah, it's not revoked, it's suspended.
Okay.
Where did he work before Hogue?
I haven't seen any history of him working. You've done, I have no
I just wondered if there's maybe another.
hospital or physician's office. I haven't seen any record. He just simply shows up at Hogue, tied to Hogue, as far as I can tell.
How far did the abuse go? Did he go as far as to have intercourse with his patients?
Yes. And that's part of the criminal counts, oral copulation. oral sex, if you want to use the term, physical intercourse, yes, a rape, yeah, and in a lot of instances.
Is there any evidence, did Hogue know that he was treating patients at his home? Did they know? Is there
I,
evidence that they?
we do not know that yet. We haven't seen anything. Part of his advertising, and if you go to his social media, there's a lot of pornography on his social media, but he ties himself very heavily to Hogue. He wears the Hogue badge and I think these gentlemen can probably speak to it. He wears the Hogue badge while he's treating patients off-site from Hogue. He puts it up on his website that he's affiliated with Hogue. He is tied completely to Hogue.
Just a question for one of the gentlemen who spoke, whoever wants to take the question. Prior to coming to this doctor, what was your sense of him? Was there any indication that something might have been wrong? Was it word of mouth, were there reviews? How did you feel like this was a safe space?
I'll step aside and you go ahead.
I was recommended to Dr. Thompson. I was seeing another doctor in the same Newport area, and I didn't feel comfortable with her. I didn't think she was doing enough for me. But I went to Dr. Thompson through a referral from a friend who was in the medical industry. And I was told that he was very friendly and that he was the best and that he cared the most. And of course, we all found out differently on what his true intentions were.
Anybody else want to address that?
But another question.
You want to?
I was referred to Dr. Thompson by another doctor who used to share the same office with Dr. Thompson. And this doctor have told me that Dr. Thompson is very professional, very good doctor, and I should go see him. And that's why I trusted both of them to treat my health condition.
Another question for the gentleman, whoever wants to take this. Several, not all of you, expressed that it's really shaken your faith in medicine and doctors and things like that. And just thinking of all that we've been through in the last 3 years or so, it's a hell of a time not to feel like you can go to a doctor and feel safe and feel cared for. If any of you would be comfortable just sharing what exactly has that meant to you to feel like you don't want to see a doctor.
Julia, I know that resonates with you, and Matthew also. Yeah, both of you.
Thank you. I'm glad that you asked that. We went through a pandemic. We were told not to ask any questions about what our medical professionals told us. We needed to follow the guidelines. We did. We did everything that our doctor told us to do, and we ended up being molested. That's what happened. And so it is difficult to take anyone's word for it that you can just blindly trust someone anymore. And, there are people that we should be able to trust. Our doctors, there are people who, know more than us. We count on them. And this is what Dr. Thompson did to us. And it will carry over for all of us for the rest of our lives. We won't be able to trust doctors again. And we will be lucky if we find another one that we do. Thank you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question one more time?
So just what does it mean, like practically day to day in your life, to have a distrust of doctors, to not feel like you can seek healthcare safely? What does that mean?
For me, it's meant that I've been anxious. I've been just not wanting to see any other doctors. It's very difficult to be able to go through trying to get the preventative care that I need. Fortunately, I'm still continuing with the preventative care that I need, but I know that eventually I'm going to have to find a new doctor. And for the meantime, it's going to be a difficult time for me to be able to find someone that I can trust. But as far as everything is concerned, for the meantime, I can't really trust doctors anymore, especially after him presenting himself as kind and compassionate, but no, he definitely is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Thank you.
Can I say one more thing to that? To that same question, at the end of starting around 2015, 16, he stopped, in my opinion, treating me. It was just a social visit at that point, and I didn't know what was going to happen. it made me do more research about myself and fix and try to be. I was my own doctor, put it that way. He never talked about medical things except for giving me one test after another, sending me for multiple bone density tests, all kinds of different things that were just so unnecessary, and never directed what my issues really were. It made me take care of me. And I only went to him because I had to get my prescriptions. Thank you.
I'm John Doe 10. The only thing, Thompson wasn't my doctor. I didn't seek out Thompson to be my physician. I was at the emergency room at 3 in the morning with spinal meningitis or viral meningitis. And for some reason, they called in an infectious disease doctor, and that's my experience. And that's when I met Thompson, and then got an exam that thought that was a little bit overboard, but then again, it's 3:30 in the morning and I've got viral meningitis. So that just kind of goes to show the fact, the level of confidence that he had in taking advantage of some folks, and basically the level of just, I don't know, he must not really care because you're only got a screen behind you, and so I just want to put that out that, the guy's a predator, and took advantage of all of these gentlemen and everybody and that much more for whatever reason, well, we know his reason, but again, some of us didn't even seek him out. He got handed to us without our knowledge. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, and that's one of those instances of abuse at a ER. That's not the only one where he's called into the ER and he uses that opportunity to abuse a person that's incapacitated or needs a medical treatment. Other questions? No? Okay.
Is he out on bail?
He is out on bail.
Do you know what his bail is?
Well, I don't want to misspeak, so I don't have it handy, but I believe it's
500,000? 500,000? Yeah.
Yeah, and his arrest was, I believe it was September. It was in September 2023. I believe it was the 26th.
Okay.
You mentioned he's an infectious disease. What's his specialty?
Infectious disease.
But he also did primary care treatment as well.
Yeah. Okay. If anybody has any individual questions, we'll be around.
At least one more
You
thing
want to?
about
Add,
what
Ralph?
he did.
Go ahead.
I've never met a doctor that texts your patients directly from your cell phone at 8:30 at night. I'll see you tomorrow. Why did you cancel your appointment? What's up? He's actually aggressive. He's intimidating. He's a bully. He texted Julio for over a year. He invited us over his house just, to get drunk with him. He always wants to talk about drinking. And I wanted to say, he has a son in his house. He has a 10-year-old son. And it seems like every time we go for an appointment, he always says, oh, I'll just be there with my 10-year-old son. He always brings up his 10-year-old son. And, it's just really gross that he has people coming to his house with a child there for physical exams where their clothes are getting taken off. And that's what he was trying to get him to do for a year. I just want everybody to know that. And I want Dr. Thompson to know that he's going to pay.
I want to echo. I also received a text from Dr. Thompson privately, and I was surprised that, wow, what such a great office. A doctor texts me directly instead of the nurses or the admin people in front office. Hi, handsome, you have an appointment with me tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. It was shocked to me, handsome. It was like, it's kind of weird, but I didn't think twice about it because he carried himself as a nice, caring, and kind doctor. So, this guy, he's just horrible.
I would like to get one more detail straight, that when this story initially broke, I believe back in October, it was posed as an LGBTQ story. This is not that. This is a men's story. Not all of us up here are LGBTQ. There are those of us who aren't part of that community and got abused by Dr. Thompson. The Me Too movement was a terrific thing for everyone in this world, but the men felt a little left out through that time. It was a ladies' movement, a women's movement, and it was a powerful one. But it does happen to men too, and it happened to us. Thank you.
Any other questions?
What has been the response from Hope since the filing of the complaint?
Not a word yet. All right, we'll be here for any individual questions for a few minutes, if anybody has any, and happy to answer them. Thank you. I know.